All right, so today we're going to dive into some pretty cool stuff, especially if you're, keeping up with current affairs for those big exams like the UPSC.
Oh, yeah. What have we got?
We're talking about the brand new Pamban Rail Bridge, the one they just opened, connecting Rameswaram Island to Ramanathapuram in Tamil Nadu.
Oh, right. That's a big deal, isn't it? Not just for getting around, but also for showing off, like, what we can do with engineering these days.
Exactly. It's a huge development,
Yeah.
not just a simple connection.
No, no, definitely not. And I think our listeners will be pretty interested in this one.
Totally. So today's deep dive, we're going to break down all the important details about this new bridge. We'll also look back at the old Pamban Bridge, for some historical context.
Right, got to see where we came from to appreciate where we are now.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll try to get a sense of, the bigger picture, the why behind this whole connection.
Sounds good. So where are we getting all this info from?
Mainly from the Press Information Bureau, the PIB. They've got a lot of good stuff on this.
All right, PIB it is. Let's get into it then.
So first up, this new Pamban Bridge, it's massive.
Oh, yeah. How long are we talking?
2.07 kilometers long, built by Rail Vikas Nigam Limited. And get this, it cost a cool 531 crore.
Wow, that's quite an investment. But I guess that's what it takes for a project this ambitious. What else?
But wait, there's more. The real star of the show is this 72.5-meter vertical lift span. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. It's pretty unique, isn't it? What makes it so special?
It's all about letting ships move through, without getting blocked by the bridge.
Right. So how does that work? Does it swing open or something?
Not quite. This thing lifts straight up, 17 meters. So ships can easily pass underneath. It's a huge win for, anything happening on the water in that area.
That makes sense. Keeps the ships happy and the trains running smoothly.
Yeah, it's a really smart solution, I think. And speaking of smart, they really went all out on making this bridge tough, super durable.
Oh, wow, so.
They used stainless steel reinforcement and this special high-grade paint, all because of the sea,
Ah, right. Saltwater can be brutal on metal.
Exactly. The Palk Strait, it's pretty rough on anything out there, so they had to choose materials that could handle it.
Makes sense. What kind of paint did they use?
Some fancy stuff called polysiloxane paint. I guess it's the best for fighting corrosion. And this isn't just about saving money on repairs down the road.
Right, it's about making sure the bridge lasts.
Exactly. It's a long-term investment. Oh, and it's not just sitting on the water's surface either.
Really? Tell me more.
They've got 333 piles down there holding everything up, supporting 101 piers and pile caps.
Wow, that's a lot of support.
Yeah, it's built like a tank. This thing can handle pretty much anything. Strong winds, waves, heavy trains, you name it.
That's what you want, right? A bridge that can take whatever nature throws at it.
Absolutely. And get this, it's already set up for 2 rail tracks. Plus, there's room to expand even more later on.
So they're really thinking ahead.
Definitely. Now, you might be wondering about how fast the trains can go on this new bridge.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about that. Is it high-speed line?
Well, right now, the limit is 80 kilometers per hour, which is kind of surprising because the bridge itself can handle double that, 160 kilometers per hour.
Huh. So why the speed limit?
It's not the bridge itself, actually. Apparently, there's this curve in the rail line near Rameswaram.
Ah, I see. So it's a safety thing.
Exactly. But still, knowing the bridge can handle those speeds, it's who knows what the future holds.
Yeah, maybe someday we'll see those high-speed trains zooming across.
Right. And this new bridge is designed to be around for a while, a really long while, 100 years.
Wow, that's impressive. A
Yeah.
century of service.
Yeah, talk about built to last. And this is going to make a huge difference for everyone heading to Rameswaram, especially the pilgrims. It's a much safer and faster way to get there.
It definitely is. So all of this makes me curious about the old Pamban Bridge. The one this new one replaces. What was that like?
Well, according to the PID, it was actually a huge deal back in its day, built in 1913.
1913, that's over a century ago. It must have been quite a feat back then.
It was. I mean, think about it. Building a 2.05-kilometer bridge over the sea back then, that was some serious engineering.
It was, for sure. And it was the only way to get to Rameswaram Island for over 70 years. That's amazing.
It is. It played a vital role for a long time. And they had this really cool feature, the Scherzer rolling lift span.
Scherzer rolling lift span. What's that?
It's how they let ships pass under the bridge. It's pretty ingenious. Instead of just swinging up this section, it rolls back as it lifts. Imagine these curved surfaces, almost like shoes, rolling along a track.
Ah, I see. So it moves diagonally upwards, creating space for the ships.
Yeah.
That's clever.
Yeah, and it was designed by this American engineer, William Scherzer. He patented this design, and the Pamban Bridge was one of the many bridges around the world that used it. Its version was finished in 1914. It was a real game changer for maritime traffic.
That's fascinating. I mean, to think about it surviving for so long, serving such a critical role, and didn't it even withstand a cyclone back in 1964?
It did, a major cyclone, and they managed to fix it up really quickly, too. It really shows how well built the original bridge was and how important it was to keep it running.
Absolutely. That resilience and quick restoration really underscore its strategic value.
Mm.
And then they even upgraded it to a broad gauge line in 2007. They even reinforced the Scherzer lift span.
Wow. So they were constantly working on it, keeping it up to date. It's a great example of how important it is to maintain infrastructure and adapt it over time, right?
Yeah, definitely. A good lesson for anyone studying for the UPSC.
Yeah.
Thinking about infrastructure management, how things need to evolve and be upgraded over time.
Right. So it wasn't just a static structure. They kept investing in it to make sure it stayed relevant.
Absolutely. They had a long-term vision for it. Speaking of long-term vision, the PIB also mentions that the idea of connecting this region goes way back, like to the late 19th century.
Right.
They were thinking about linking India and Ceylon, what's now Sri Lanka.
Wow, that's some serious foresight.
Right. It shows how long this ambition for connectivity has been around in this region. There were actually proposals back in the 1870s and 1890s, but they didn't go anywhere because of cost and stuff.
I see. So the idea was always there, just waiting for the right time.
Yeah, it seems like it. And the Pamban Bridge we're talking about, the one built in the early 1900s, well, a big reason behind it was actually trade. They wanted to boost the tobacco trade.
So it was about more than just connecting two places physically. It was about economics, too.
Exactly. Connecting geographically to facilitate trade and economic growth. Fascinating how these things intertwine, isn't it?
It is. But even the best built things don't last forever, right? The old bridge eventually started showing its age.
Yeah, sadly. The sea takes its toll no matter how well you build something. Corrosion started to weaken the structure.
And I remember reading about sensors they installed in 2020 just to keep an eye on things, to monitor the bridge's health.
Yeah, that was a smart move. It allowed them to collect data and track the bridge's condition. Ultimately, it led to that difficult but necessary decision in late 2022.
When they realized it just wasn't safe anymore, beyond repair, must have been a tough call.
It was. But, it highlights how important continuous monitoring is. And making those tough decisions when you have to, based on the data. It's about safety and responsible infrastructure management.
Right. And thankfully, they were already thinking ahead. They started building the new bridge back in 2019.
Exactly. Shows a proactive approach. Recognizing that the old bridge, despite all the care and upgrades, was nearing the end of its lifespan.
It makes you realize how complex these projects are. Even with all the planning, there are always challenges.
Oh, for sure. Take the new bridge, for example.
Right.
Its construction was delayed by COVID-19, and then rough sea conditions, too, pushed the completion date all the way to November 2024.
Yeah, sometimes things just happen that you can't predict, and you just have to adjust.
Absolutely. Big infrastructure projects are massive undertakings with so many moving parts. You have to be prepared to deal with the unexpected. Flexibility is key.
Totally. Now, before we wrap up, I'm curious about the old bridge. What are they going to do with it now?
Well, they are going to dismantle it, but not entirely. According to the PIB, they're planning to preserve significant parts of it, as a tribute to its history and its impressive engineering.
Oh, that's nice. A way to remember it and honor its legacy.
Yeah, exactly. And serve that region for over a century, connecting people and facilitating trade. It deserves to be remembered. And remember, William Scherzer, the engineer behind the lift span design, his design wasn't just used here. Over 150 bridges around the world used his design.
Wow, that's amazing. A true testament to the impact of the original Pamban Bridge and the ingenuity behind it.
It is a lasting legacy.
So to sum it all up, this new Pamban Bridge is a major step forward. It's got the latest technology, it's safer, it's faster, and that vertical lift mechanism is pretty impressive.
Definitely. And when we compare it to the old bridge, which was remarkable in its time, with that ingenious rolling lift design, it shows how much we've progressed in engineering and infrastructure development.
Yeah. It's a great example of how we keep pushing boundaries and finding new solutions to challenges. And for our listeners who are preparing for the UPSC, this entire discussion is like a goldmine of insights, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about the history, the vision behind these bridges, the engineering innovations, and the social and economic impacts. All of this is directly relevant to the UPSC syllabus.
Right. especially for topics like infrastructure development, economic geography, and current events. It's important to understand these kinds of projects inside and out.
Definitely. It's all connected, you know. Understanding the past, present, and future of infrastructure development, it gives you a much deeper understanding of how things work.
Exactly, and it leaves us with some interesting questions to ponder. I mean, if we look at the long history of wanting better connections in this region, what could the future hold? What if engineering keeps advancing and the political landscape shifts in unexpected ways?
That's a thought-provoking question. I mean, just imagine the possibilities. We might see even more ambitious projects, connections we can't even imagine right now.
Right, the future of infrastructure is full of potential. Who knows what incredible links we might see in the years to come?
Exciting to think about, for sure.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's Deep Dive. If you found this discussion helpful for your studies, please like and subscribe for more in-depth analyses on important topics.
And don't forget to leave your comments and questions below. We love hearing from you.
Absolutely. We might even feature your question in a future deep dive. And just a reminder, all the information we talked about today is based on the Press Information Bureau, the PIB. Thanks for joining us.